The PA Empowerment Network is a game changer, uniting individuals with shared goals to support and uplift each other, providing resources, mentorship, and a sense of community. Empowering people means giving them the tools and confidence to thrive and create positive change in their lives and communities.
All right, good evening. How are you guys doing this evening? Glad you guys can tune in. Of course, my name is Kendall Stevenson, and this is the PA Empowerment Network, the PA Empowerment Network. I get a little tongue tied. You know how it is as you get older. This evening, I got a young man with me, and he's going to teach us all about the weed game. At least we're going to talk about the good, we're going to talk about the bad, and we're going to talk about some other things. So, here, let me introduce you to Mr. Shawn Fisher. Hey, what's going on, Shawn? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you today, Kendall?
I'm doing all right, man. And we discussed a little earlier that I'm in remission, so of course I'm feeling grateful. At the beginning of the show, what we usually do is I usually say something that I'm grateful for. So I guess that would be it today. I'm grateful that I'm in remission. I'm grateful for my family, and I'm grateful to be in the position and the space that I'm in right now. So how are you doing, Shawn?
I'm doing pretty well, enjoying life as best I can.
Mm.
If
How's
you're
the
grateful,
family?
the family's good. They're all at the house right now, chilling.
Oh,
Got.
are they watching you?
I'm not sure about that yet.
Huh? Oh, you should tell them to tune in and check you out because you always have something important to say. How's your business going?
Things are going well. Uh, since we last talked, I opened up a second shop, so we have our second location. I have a place to manufacture. We've been going out to shows just recently. Thankfully, the season started again.
Were you out to the West End this year?
We will be. I think that's the end of June
The end of
this
June?
year. Yeah,
Oh,
I
they're
believe
gonna
it's
have
the end of
another.
June.
There's another weed festival.
Yeah, we will. There's a number of them coming up.
Really?
Gilbert, there's Lebanon coming up on the 7th and 8th. So there's the Lebanon Cannabis Festival. It's a newer guy that's starting out. Um, we do have, we got Pocono Cannafest, which is the Gilbert you're talking about. Um, what else do we have? Jeez. We just got back from the Steel City Cannabis Convention out Monroeville, out towards
Hmm.
Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
That was a fun time.
You guys. I mean, what did they have? What happened to the 420? That just expanded and exploded.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, Zik, uh, the Cannabis Festival, what that's 11 years running now.
Right.
This year they did it on 419 because Easter happened to fall on 420, but they still brought a lot of people through the doors. So lots of people came out to show some love.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you tuning in and thank you. Please subscribe if you do. Again, today I have with me here Mr. Shawn Fisher, and I call him the weed man, but he is a stick man. And he's here today to talk to you about body care. So talk to us about body care. What kind of products do you have for the different ailments or to make us feel better?
Well, we have our signature product, our CBD salve. I started making about what, moving on 7 years, almost 8 years now. I started making for my wife. Uh, that one's a little heavier, a little richer, really good for your knees, back, shoulders. Um, it absorbs a little slower, so it can provide that sustained relief throughout the day.
Right.
Uh, we've got a body oil, so if you're looking for something a lot lighter, something specifically formulated for your face, I've got all sorts of great oils in there. We've got argan, pumpkin seed, even some rose hip in there. Helps with fine lines, dark circles. It boosts collagen production, softens your skin, and still anti-inflammatory.
Mm-hmm.
And more recently, I created a water-based moisturizing body spray. So
Right.
for that quick relief, uh, deep penetrating, it's actually a water-based spray. So to give you that relief immediately.
When you say relief, what do you mean? Relief from what? From pain? From
Aches, pains, a lot of, you got muscle pain, or you're working out, or we're just getting older. You know what I mean?
uh
Uh, s- you could spritz it on there, the spray it all, you could spritz on,
right.
and it absorbs near instantly, so you don't have to worry about having any residue on your hands or anything.
All right, I'm gonna bring you down a rabbit hole. Just gonna bring you down this road. We went down it once before. So, with your wife, why don't you tell me the story about your wife and why you started making what you did, the product?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my wife has MS, so I I'd seen her going through a lot of struggles. She's having a hard time moving around and things. They gave her a whole bunch of medication to take after she got diagnosed, which she started to take it, but it was just a lot. Left her in a brain fog. She really was, wasn't getting too much relief on it. And we have
Hmm.
4 kids at home at that time, so um, I I saw her stuck for like 2 weeks. She was barely getting out of bed. So
Mm.
I can't. I've been a smoker for years, but I just came across CBD, while I was doing research and started making our CBD salve, I made one of them, had her pick out the scent, and uh, I started from there, rubbed it on her, and
Now, you say you've been smoking for years. What do you mean? You're smoking recreationally or smoking for
yes, yeah,
medical
yeah.
purposes, or so
Well,
what?
self-medicating purposes.
Self medicating. So this Sab, does it really help? How's your wife feeling with that she's been using it?
Well, with the salve, that's helped out tremendous. Give her a nice little massage with it.
Hmm.
She seems to feel a lot better. Helps her get through the day. If you're sitting there in pain all day, your back's hurting, your knees are hurting. You know, that decreases the quality of your life. So it makes it uncomfortable. It's not as fun. If you're able to get some relief on that, you know, it helps the mental state as well as the body. But yeah, with my wife, starting with the salve, that was one way to deal with her body pains. Um, as we as she started using that, I talked to her about using the gummies because she's an insomniac, so trying to get her to relax in the evenings. You know, between over time between the body care products as well as the gummies, she's been able to get rid of the majority of her medications that they prescribed her, and she's doing pretty well. She
Right.
takes one treatment,
One treatment.
and she just switched over to pills as opposed to she used to get an infusion every 6 months.
Hmm.
So it's like a 6 hour sitting there in the hospital with an IV just dripping all that stuff into you.
So because of your treatment, she doesn't have to go through that.
Yeah. It's helped her out a lot. It's MS, so it's not it helps my products help a lot. They don't
Mhm.
cure and they won't cure it, but they'll make her life a lot more manageable.
Oh, look, man. The way the system is now, man, they're not looking for a cure. Most of them, they're looking to give you a pill to make you feel better. That's pretty much what the medical people do nowadays. They're not really looking to cure you, but they as long as you got a symptom, then they can still make $1 on it. That's what they're gonna do. They'll cure the symptom. That's
Absolutely. Just keep treating the symptoms.
just keep treating the symptoms. So marijuana, cannabis has always had a stigma, a bad stigma around it. And I think it started back in the early 1900s. I'd say around 1930 or so. They had a movie that came out, Reefer Madness. You ever saw it?
I've seen parts of it.
Well, for,
It's
for those people who have not seen it, I'm gonna run you a little trailer. So sit back for a minute.
Outrageous anti-drug propaganda film of all time? Probably.
I know what you want. You want to kill me.
According to this 1936 film, smoking one joint will make you go completely insane. Yes, this movie actually wants you to believe that weed turns you into a jazz-obsessed lunatic. Originally financed by a church group, the film was meant to scare parents.
What do you think of that?
well, it definitely seems to be the opposite of the experiences that I've had.
Yeah, I tell you, I guess it did scare a lot of people because a lot of people stayed away from the marijuana. They thought it was something bad, something that you shouldn't ingest or take. Now, I mean, if people smoke, they smoke. I got nothing against recreational smoking or medical. It seems to have a lot of medical uses and practices that seem to actually help us as human beings. So I don't see a problem with us utilizing it as long as it's controlled.
No, that's fair. There's, as long as we're, taking reasonable doses and things of that nature, it makes it palatable for people. They're not having a bad experience.
Hmm.
I've have lots of people that utilize our products mostly, pain relief, anxiety, just to help them get through the day.
How about the youth? You think we should have an age limit on when a person should be you to utilize cannabis for any purposes, recreational or medical?
Let's see. Reasonably right now, everything's 21 and up. Medically, there are cases where, cannabis can have a tremendous effect, not necessarily smoking it, but, you see a lot of like kids with seizures and things like that. See, there's actually a drug that it's a synthetic cannabinoid, but
Hmm.
it's actually been shown to. It's one of the only approved medications, cannabis wise, that actually helps with seizures and things. Yeah, it's epilepsy. That's all it's for.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't want to wreck the name.
All right. Well, what's wrong with the name? What is it? Illegal
Is
or
it?
something?
No, I'm not sure that I remember which one is specifically because I know there's Sativex is one of them,
Okay. Is that
and
cannabis based?
I believe it's actually a lab created cannabinoid. It's not actually from the plant itself, but
Would that be considered a hybrid?
it would be. I don't know that it would be a hybrid. It really is just they created the cannabinoid.
Mhm.
They found it in the plant. They're like, okay, this is beneficial. Let's create it in the lab as opposed to having to use it or develop it directly from the plant because you have to deal
Mhm.
with um, what the levels are in the plant. If you're synthesizing it, it's you know something you can have and it's a clean product, pure product.
Does it have THC?
I don't believe so. I'd have to actually look that up. I think it's more of a CBD product.
Hmm.
Um, if you give me just a sec here, I'm not as well
I'm
versed
gonna
in it.
give you a sec. We got a few minutes. So what we're gonna do right now? We're gonna take a quick little break. We got to pay the bills.
Hello, I'm Chantel Davis from Willie Mae's Place and Legacy Vines Winery, located in Gilbert, Pennsylvania. We're the only restaurant and winery experience where we pair delicious homemade scratch kitchen Southern comfort food with delicious homemade wine. All of our tastings will include some type of food and wine portion pairing, so definitely check us out. You can visit us at williemaysplace.com, legacyvineswinery.com, and also follow us on our socials, Willie Mae's Place Restaurant. Hope to see you soon.
Hey, I don't know if you got a chance to ever go by there, but down in Gilbert on 209, I'm gonna tell you, man, the food. If you like Southern style cooking, that's the place to be. You ever had grits?
Yeah, I have
Oh man,
actually.
they make a grits with a cheese, and then they got the fish. Oh, please, it's a real good place. So did you find what you were looking for? Is there
Yeah,
THC in it?
yeah, the Sativex is actually it's different. It's a different one of the other ones. That one is actually the Sativex is a 1-to-1.
Mhm.
So it'd be one part THC, one part CBD,
Mhm.
and it's actually used for um, muscle spasticity and treatment of MS. So
Mhm.
it's actually a multiple sclerosis treatment, which is probably why it stuck out in my head. Um, but there's another one, Epidiolex. I probably spelling or doing saying that wrong. Epidiolex. It's a CBD based ingredient or medication, and it's actually used for um, looks like I believe this is the one for seizures and a few other syndromes I wasn't even aware of, like
Mm.
Dravet syndrome and tuberous. Or Tuberous
Tubulous.
sclerosis. Yeah.
Tubulous.
Yeah, tuberous. Yeah, tuberous sclerosis complex. So there's two medications that are approved by the FDA that are cannabis based.
And do you carry any of that?
I do not carry any actual medicine. Yeah,
Anything like that maybe you would carry that someone could use in place of that?
well, let's see, a 1-to-1, that's easy. I can help out there. I have gummies that are 1-to-1s. I also have tinctures. So what they're the Sativex is actually like a nose spray.
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't have anything in that vein, but gummies and tinctures would be a great way to go, especially if you're looking for a 1-to-1 experience.
And they call it Sativex. Is that like I keep hearing in my head sativa, which is a strain of marijuana, and it kind of gets you that's the one that gives you the boost, right?
Yeah,
And the
that
indica, what is the indica? What do they call that? In the couch.
in the couch, yes, sir.
So that kind of puts you out. That what's the difference between the two, really? Or is there
I
any
think
difference?
nowadays I don't know that there's as much difference. Like when we first started out, there was the balance there, but I think the vast majority of things are uh, lean in the hybrid because we're mixing and matching all sorts of strains to create a new one. And
Mhm.
depending on how you grow it, it could actually, you can take a hybrid and lean it sativa or indica, just depending on how your growing is. From what I understand, I'm not as well versed in the growing.
Well, you know about the wax thing. You know about that?
Well,
I, I,
waxes.
I I was watching somewhere and they were like straining the wax off it, making it like where you can. I don't really understand it much that well, but I was seeing it. It looks like a machine that turns the marijuana into like a waxy form or something. I don't know.
Well, there's a number of different methods to get different extracts. There's a whole host of things like you have shatter, which is I actually have never actually seen shatter other than in pictures and video. But
Mhm.
there's shatter, there's batter, there's crumble, all different varieties of it using different solvents and uh, different processes to create the different consistencies.
So
And
let me ask you, what is it about the THC? I see people say, is it the potency of the marijuana that gets you high, or is it the actual THC percentage
uh,
in the marijuana?
well, I guess it would depend. Like a lot of people, they look specifically for terpenes that are in the cannabis plant. The the THC, you know, plays a role because that gives you the strength. But if something's high in, say, linalool, if I said that right, that's much more relaxing. So that one's gonna should have, no matter whether it's sativa or indica, should have that nice relaxing experience. And then you have limonene or myrcene, and those are be a little bit more uplifting, more in the uplifting sector. The THC isn't necessarily the main factor when it comes to what your experience is like. It's almost like aromatherapy,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what's actually in the plant, what the levels of CBD and the other cannabinoids that are in there, because
Hmm.
that's going to either balance it out or make it a little bit more speedy.
So actually boost up the high, if you want to say? What do I need if I go out and I want to buy something? I'm looking. It's got 30%. I don't know what am I looking for, and I'm looking to say I'm going to get the best bang for my buck, if you want to say.
Hmm.
I'm
Let's
not
see.
looking to get wasted, but I'm looking to
I was
get
going to
maybe
say,
just a nice euphoria type of a feeling or effect.
well, depending on where your tolerance is, you could look directly at the THC percentages, or if you needed something to actually boost up, just say you got to a level where you're really not getting that experience, you could always lean into a concentrate and add that to your smoking, you know, because you're talking going from anywhere from 15 to 30% roughly most strains.
Mm-hmm.
If you needed something a little bit extra, concentrates are pushing 80, 90%, and you could always add that to your repertoire. That would
What's good for me to sleep at night? I'm a guy. I haven't been getting much sleep. I got some aches and pains. Maybe I got nerve damage somewhere down the line, and sleep is not my best friend. But I need to get some. What do you suggest I do for that?
Well, you could smoke, but I'd probably recommend more of an edible, like a
Mm-hmm.
gummy. Great. We've got a 1-to-1. That's actually what I would recommend. It's you get depending on which cannabinoid you're using. If you're using Delta 9, which is the main player when you're smoking, it's 15 milligrams Delta 9, 15
I'm ignorant.
milligrams CBD.
I don't know what that is.
All right.
What is the Delta 9? Please break it down to me.
Delta 9 THC is the THC that gets you high. Like if you
Mm,
smoked a joint, there's two cannabinoids. There's THCA and there's Delta 9. Those are the two THCs that most people are familiar with. THCA is the natural part of the plant. It's not until you heat it up and light it on fire that it becomes Delta 9,
mm,
converts over to that. So Delta 9 is just the cannabinoid that facilitates the high experience that we enjoy. CBD is I guess it'd be its little brother. That's more about the pain, the inflammation. Um, if you're eating like if you're gonna eat that gummy is gonna give you that nice buzz you're familiar with, but it's
mm-hmm.
gonna give you that nice body calm, kind of slow the mind down a little bit, give you an opportunity. Like with my wife, she finds that it in the evening she'll take it like an hour or two before bed, and you could see her get relaxed. You could see her smiling, and giggly. You're still gonna get that nice buzz, but you know at the end of it, she was like, "All right, I'm good," and then she's able to sleep for a number of hours. Where before she'd be up within an hour.
Mm. All right. One thing I could tell you is there are a lot of stereotypes that come with the cannabis and marijuana. Uh, what are they? The munchies. Is that a true thing? People just smoke weed and it makes you automatically get hungry and you got to go sit in front of the TV and zombie out and get a
Well,
big
sometimes.
2 pizzas and 3 pizzas and you're sitting in front of the TV and you just have no conscious of what you're doing. You're just sitting there watching television.
Well, you could get like that if you. Uh, I don't get the munchies too much anymore.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it does have the potential to give you an appetite, which is a benefit for someone who's dealing with, you know, different issues like cancer, where you're going through chemo and things like that, and you can't you can't really get the idea of eating down. You might eat an edible or smoke a joint, and actually give your body that opportunity to be like, okay, my stomach's settled, I can actually consume something.
Mm, So you would recommend it for, I don't know, a cancer patient or someone who's not eating? Like, let's say if a person was bulimic, would you suggest that they smoke?
Hmm. Now, someone that's bulimic would be just throwing up the food they're eating. So that's a unique question. I'm not exactly sure how that would work. It might
Mm.
make you feel better and not feel like you know, maybe give you an opportunity to think about what you're doing to yourself.
Well, it would settle their stomach too while they're smoking it,
Well,
right?
that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Should have a nice calming effect.
Mm-hmm. And maybe they get too high and forget that they want to stick their finger down their throat.
Yeah, it's definitely not something I've thought about doing while I'm while I'm consuming.
I imagine not. Oh, please, pardon me, pardon me. All right, we've been having fun here, Shawn, and I'm always glad to have you then when you come on. How's your partner doing?
Well, he's doing all right. He's out hanging out today. He's doing his own thing.
You gave him the day off?
Yeah, I'd got to give him the day off every once in a while.
Every
You
once
know.
in a while, right? You got to put the whips and chains away, right? I hear you. I really thought he was a nice gentleman when I got the opportunity to meet him. Love to always say hello, and you can say hello to your wife for me, and she's a darling, and we've had a lot of fun here today. We got to go over some stereotypes that about marijuana. We got to see an old film from the 1930s, Reefer Madness, and if anybody ever gets a chance to watch it, watch it. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. we're not having a really long show. We do about a half an hour, 30 minutes. So we try to keep it down to keep you interested. If you have any ideas about or anything that you'd like to learn about or listen about, leave us a comment, give us a call. The number's down there. You can always give us a call, and we're always open to your suggestion as to for our future shows. All right, Shawn. I'm going to say thank you very much for tuning in, and you were the man. And yeah, one more thing, man. That blue dream.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now I understand. Just before we go, I understand you do by mail. You do
Yes, sir.
mail order. Well,
Yeah,
why don't you tell us about how do I get in contact with you? I don't have your number. I don't have your number. I don't know where to look for you at. Well, why don't you lay it down?
sure. Well, if you're looking to check out our line, you can go right on stickmanbodycare.com. Our whole line is right there. You can order it. We'll send it right out to you. Um, we also have two shops, one in Hawley, Pennsylvania, 310 Main Ave. We also have our second location I'm at right now in 36 North Scott Street in Carbondale, Pennsylvania. You can stop by, see us. In Hawley, we're open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. And in Carbondale, Tuesday through Saturday, we're here 12 to 6.
All right. Telephone number.
Let's see. The number here, 570-281-2927. Over in Hawley, give me 1 second. I don't call it. I usually call everybody personally.
Mm.
Give me just a moment here. I'll
This
tell
is
you.
one of those stereotypes coming into play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see. Let's see if I don't try to call it. Okay. My goodness. That is the one in Holly is 570-390-3080.
I'm gonna repeat that. Let me just make sure you
All right.
repeat it.
Yeah, no worries. 570-390-3080.
And if they wanted to catch you online, we're gonna hit that one more time again.
Stickmanbodycare.com.
Stickmanbodycare.com. Again, thank you again for coming on, and I hope to see you again in the future. When is your next event coming up?
June 7th, we'll be in Lebanon at the Lebanon Cannabis Festival.
So that's next week, next Sunday.
Yes, sir. Next
Next
Saturday
Sunday.
and Sunday.
All right,
We'll be
next
there.
Saturday and Sunday. Where are you gonna be?
We're going to be in Lebanon at the I believe it's the Lebanon Expo Center. It's going to be outdoors. We were there in December. It should be it's a large venue, so there should be lots of people outside. It should be a fun time.
Well, if I get an opportunity, well, I may not, but if I get the opportunity, I'll June 7th, maybe June 6th, I'll slide through. My birthday's coming up soon. I'd love to try some of that Blue Dream.
Absolutely. I'm looking to grab some more of it. Don't worry.
All right, brother. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in to the PA Empowerment Show. And we hope you tune in again. On Monday, don't forget, this Monday, we have Mental Health Mondays with Hope. Mental Health Mondays with Hope. And I believe she's coming on this week again with a guest. Last week, she had a good guest. Her sister came on with her. So this week, she may have her sister come on again. So stay tuned. Monday, Mental Health Mondays with Hope. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Kendall Stevenson, the PA Empowerment Show.